can do it in a nice feminine way because we are different than men. And that's the fact actually, but it doesn't mean we cannot achieve the same things.
The world that we live in is programmed this way, like it's very masculine. It drives on testosterone, right? Like the 24-hour cycle. Whilst
Exactly.
we women, we have actually completely different cycle, right? We have what we call the moon cycle. So, and when we sync with that, it actually brings like the magic.
We are huge supporters of women and we want them to succeed. We want them to have their own dreams. And if they don't have, we will help them to discover it, to discover their passion.
What if everyone can win, like when we unite? And I believe that for women, it's very natural to collaborate and to be together and to create together.
Women are amazing human beings and they should have their space to create amazing stuff because the strength that is inside of them, inside of us, is amazing. Welcome to Femisticated Podcast, where we're going to talk about lots of topics regarding women's world, about how to stay this amazing feminine being and don't get crazy and also succeed in this world full of sharks, where even feminism is twisted all the way around. My name is Lucia and I have Nina here. Hi, Nina.
Hello, hi, I'm Nina.
Nina is my business partner and it's an amazing human being as well. Nina, you look amazing
Thank you,
today.
Lucy. Amazing.
I'm so happy that we are here together because this was actually my dream come true to do this podcast. And I was looking for the right partner and the right person who will understand my point of view. And you actually matches all of this. And I think that this is an amazing and charming and magical connection between us. And that's why we are here to do this podcast. So, Nina, what is there for you in this podcast? What do you think you want to bring and what we're going to bring to whom actually?
Yeah, so podcast was actually on my mind for a very long time, but I never really had this push to actually start and take the first step. So actually when you reached out to me, I was really happy, and I think we both together
Me
have
too.
so many and we have so many interesting things to talk about topics from the women world, but the men will also benefit from cracking the code, as we said, because
I'm sure they will.
because we will be talking about so many things from the women's world, like motherhood, managing the business, how to stay, as you said, how to stay sane in all this craziness that we have to face as women, like trying to do it all and stay in our feminine energy doing that and stay grounded and be well. So this is a dream come true for me as well. And I'm so happy to be here. And I hope that our listeners will also benefit from listening to us. And
yeah, this positive energy, this is something that I love. And also when I met you and when we start to talk about that, I realized that I need to work on this. I need to work on this feminine energies to bring it back to my life, because at some point in my life when I was working hard on my business, and it's been 12 years, I was working here in Dubai on my own business, on styling business, where I help lots of clients and women and men to transform their wardrobes and to get their style to the point when it will be part of their personal branding and they will feel amazing about them. But what I wanted to say is that it was very hard and my calendar was always full. And I'm also a mom of two amazing human beings, two boys. They are 10 and 5 now. And it was very hard for me. And I think that at some point, I transform into a man, if I have to say. Not the man, but I had lots of this masculine energy, like this drive and this. I was tough with myself. I didn't take any breaks, and that was a business and my kids, and it was so exhausting. And when I met you and we started to talk about, I realized that we can do it different way, that there are different ways women can do business. Of course, there will be still planning in place, there will be still time management in place, but we can do it in a nice feminine way because we are different than men. And that's the fact actually, but it doesn't mean we cannot achieve the same thing. So Yeah, how is it for you? How was it for you on your journey for yourself
Mm.
when you wanted to achieve something or something like that?
Yes, I totally understand. And I think this is exactly the same for so many women, right?
Yeah.
Because the world that we live in is programmed this way, like in a it's very masculine. It drives on testosterone, right? Like the 24-hour cycle. Whilst we
Exactly.
women, we have actually completely different cycle, right? We have what we call the moon cycle. So, and when we sync with that, it actually brings like the magic. And it's something that it's not really talked about. And it was a relatively new subject to me as well. So because before I gave birth last year to my
Yeah.
daughter, I was also like very much in the
Congratulations
yeah,
again.
thank you, I'm new mom. Yeah.
Yeah, you're new mom.
So it actually
Nice.
made me slow down because I actually, when I discovered I was pregnant, instead of slowing down, I actually accelerated because I felt, oh my God, I'm not gonna have time to do all the things that I wanted to do. So now it's time to push more and more to actually achieve like before what I want to achieve before I give birth.
Mm.
And I was completely burnout. I did not enjoy my pregnancy. And actually, at some point, I was forced to slow down because I was feeling very sick. And it made me realize I need to come more back to my body and listen to my body more. And this is when I started to learn more about the feminine energies and about how to access this power that we have as women. Because when we talk about the feminine, very often we think it's like only like the soft and like being not being very active or like very assertive, but actually the other way around is true because we as women we have this extra powers, but when we learn exactly when to slow down and when to push according to our cycle as well, this is very amazing. So this is one of the topics that we will talk more like later on because we are both very passionate about it
Yes.
and how it relates to how we can relate to our partners as well and businesses. So yeah. So
Yes, it's like yesterday when we were talking, and there are some points in the month where
mhm,
I have this creative ideas, this flow, this amazing energy coming to me, and everything we talk about, it goes so easy.
mm,
But for example, yesterday we both are before period, or you are like on your period. And it was we were struggling at some point,
yeah.
and we were thinking about doing more than one episode today,
Mhm,
and then we were pushing and we were looking for the ideas that if we do this a week ago, that would be completely different situation for us than yesterday. So we decided that today we're going to do just one episode to do it properly, to go with the flow, because we are at the point in the month that we are more conversational, but those creativeness, it's not there that much. So yeah, we just decided this. So I think that women should make also their decision based on their flow in the month and not to be that tough on themselves. But this should be the theme for some other time, Nina, because there is lots of things we can say about
mhm.
this and help women to feel good about themselves on that cycle, not to feel bad about themselves. But what I wanted to also ask you is where was the point that you actually decided to this podcast with me? And how it started this entire cooperation? When was the breaking point that you decided I'm gonna work with Lucia and we're gonna do an amazing things together?
Yes. So actually, I was following you for some time
Mm,
and I was watching what you are doing because we are in the same industry, right? Because you're a
exactly.
personal
Yes.
stylist and a coach and me the same. So quote unquote, we are the competitors, right?
Exactly. Yes.
I was like following you and watching and getting inspired by you as well because you have this amazing online styling
Oh,
platform
thank you very
that I
much.
actually am using as well for myself. So
Ooh, nice.
So I absolutely love what you are doing, and you have also this nice energy about you. And we come from, let's say, you used to be one country before, so we
We
speak the
did.
same language. Yeah, so we have so many things in common. And I always liked you, and I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if I can meet with her, and maybe you can do something together. But actually, I never went this way. So actually, when you reached out to me about 2 years later, I was and you had this idea about the podcast, right? And it was on my mind for a very long time as well. And I was like, oh my God, you're reading my
Yes,
mind.
we are like one
Exactly.
person,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We have
And
the
yeah,
same
and the time as well matured
flows.
for me when I was like, okay, I don't want to do things alone anymore because it's when you have an online business and when you will work mostly online or you meet clients or Zoom, it gets very exhausted because
Mm.
exhausting because We are always with your screen in front of the computer, and you know
That's true.
something about it
Mm,
yourself. So at some point you reach a point that you feel very tired from it, and you actually crave like the real connections
exactly.
and
Yes.
collaborations. So I
And
think this
we have
time
yeah.
exactly. So I think this time like matured for us to actually meet and start this beautiful project together. And here we are actually today recording the first episode. Yeah.
You said it nicely that it matured in itself because, yes, one thing is that you start to think about that. And then at the point when you start to think about that, you're sending this amazing idea to the
Mhm.
universe. Are you a fan of this law of attractions and universe how, and
Manifestation. Oh,
manifestation and
I'm a
stuff like
big
that?
follower, big believer in in the law of manifestation, and because I believe it's how our dreams come true, and like and things as well come in the right time when you follow your dreams, and when you are in this when you get into this energy and you have a positive mindset, then definitely you attract the things like this way, like
Yeah,
we somehow
exactly.
attracted each other to work together, right?
What's amazing about this is that I am true believer in
Mm.
these laws, all of the laws that exist,
Mm.
not only law of attraction, but law of polarity and all of the
Mm.
laws, and also universe. But every time something like this happen, it surprised me, and I'm like, yeah, this is really working well. And this connection between me and you, when I found you online, so it started like I was looking on some website and yours pop up. So how it pop up, I have no idea. It so I said it was a universe who provided. And then what I loved about it is the flow of your website and all of these colors. And I love beautiful things because I think it's something that stylists have to
We
do
have this
and have to
passion,
love.
right?
That's the passion. And all of that website was amazing. And you had there these funnels and everything. I had no idea how you did it. And I really admired it that time because at that time, I wasn't that far. And I'm like, I have to do this because it looks amazing. I clicked somewhere and it took me to some lead magnet, and then it took me to your products. And I was like, I don't have it because I wasn't that time that present in online world, even if
Mm.
that online platform was born already. But I was totally newbie. I was a greenhorn in this, and I was like, I have to do this. So you impressed me with this, and then I went to your Instagram and I checked what you did, and I'm like, yes, this girl has something. There is something about her. And we got in touch, if you remember. We
Yes,
talked a
I
little bit.
remember. Yeah.
Then I know that you got pregnant. Then I wanted to see you, but I didn't because I was in this like working flow and stuff. And here we are. This all we put together in what's 1 month or 2 months, I think. And what we are preparing is we are also preparing some amazing programs for women because we are huge supporters of women and we want them to succeed. We want them to have their own dreams. And if they don't have, we will help them to discover it, to discover their passion, because I think that women are amazing human beings and they should have their space to create amazing stuff because the strength that is inside of them, inside of us, is amazing. I think that if this world would be led by women, and I don't know if everybody will like this, maybe it would
I
be
would
a
like
really
that.
nice, amazing, soft, like gentle
Mhm.
place to live on. So, yeah, whoever likes this, who doesn't, but that's what actually I think. So, yeah, so what do you think, Nina, that it's here on this world? What women should do right now? Because there is this empowerment of women. There is feminism everywhere, but we all look at this from a different perspective. And sometimes even I even hear women that, you know what, I am this feminist, and why should this man open the door for me? But I think this is twisted. This is what I said at the beginning, that feminism started to be a little bit twisted, and I think we should talk about that. So how do you like? How do you
Yes,
look at the
exactly.
feminism this way?
So I'm a big supporter of women and women's dreams, and I believe every woman have the right to follow her dreams, whatever it might be. And sometimes when we talk about the success, we think about the one way of succeeding, which is like maybe at work or in business or any kind of financial success. Success can look in different ways for different people. So I think the
Mm,
women should be free to follow whatever path they choose. So if they want to be stay-at-home moms, they should be happy about it, and they should not
exactly.
feel like they're missing out on, on something, or they are not valuable in the society, because the feminism is very important, and it's very important that we are able to access certain positions, that we are able to be CEOs, politicians, doctors,
Mm.
pilots, like you name it,
The
astronauts, which is
opportunities, we
the
need those,
opportunities. We need
yes.
the opportunities as well, but as well, women should know that they are women, and there's no, they should not feel the pressure to be something, because if they just want to be at home and take care of the home, this is also fine. So I think there's like with this big misconception of what a woman should be and what success looks like for a woman. So
Exactly. At that point, if there is an equality between men and women from the point of opportunities, and I think Dubai is the great example.
mhm,
And I love being in this city because we have so many opportunities here. And if you come here, even you married and you both are working, it's totally normal, and you can achieve your dreams very easily. But we cannot like actually forget about women on the other parts of the world that don't have these opportunities. They still cannot decide about their future. They
mhm,
cannot decide about what they want to do, and maybe they have some dreams and they cannot follow it. So we are here to support all of the women, also
mhm,
here, also around the world, I think. And it all starts with the dream and passion and the way that you're going to that. And I'm not saying it's easy, right? Because for me as well, I am a big dreamer, actually. And I was a big dreamer since I was in a high school. And my biggest dream, and nobody was telling me what to do, what not to do. I had this amazing family that supported me in whatever decision I made. And I remember that I was dreaming about life that would be somewhere else, somewhere close to the sea, because I
mhm,
love the sea. Anytime when we went for a holiday with my parents, and I was 16 when I see the ocean first time, which was amazing. And then I want to live by the sea. That was my dream. And later on in my life, when you were thinking about the future, what you're gonna do, I had no idea. My friends in a school, in a high school, after we finished, they were celebrating and they were like happy that they ended up the high school. And they had all full of, they knew what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do it, what their next job was gonna be, or what university gonna go. I didn't have that, and I felt desperate. Now, if I should go back to that scared 17 years old girl, I would tell her, that's okay. Confusion is okay. You will figure this out. Just enjoy the moment. And many times in life, I didn't enjoy the moment. I didn't enjoy the moment because I wanted to reach something else and next milestone and next milestone. And it was so much pressure. How do you do it? Do you celebrate every single moment in your life, or was it with you the same from the beginning, or it just came after some time? That's what's important, how you live your life. How is
Yeah,
it?
so this is something we don't really think about, right? Like when we talk about the manifestation, so very often we actually have what we once dreamed about, right? But we don't
Mm,
actually realize it because we are so busy living for the future and planning for the next step, the next move, and what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next month, next
exactly.
year. So we
Yes,
actually forget that sometimes we live our dream. And I remember when you asked me, like, ah, Nina, do you actually live your dream?
I
And I
did.
said, and I thought about it for a moment. And at that moment, I was thinking about like the future, what I'm going to do in my business,
Mm,
the plans that I have. And I realized, yeah, but actually, I do live my dream, right? So, and the dream can change. It doesn't have to be the same as you said for the rest of your life, because
exactly.
so many people, when they talk about their purpose or about their dreams, so they think about something that they have to choose since they were like, as you said, after high school, right? Like you have to choose the right university, and then you
Yes,
have this whole path ahead of you of how your life should be. But actually, the truth is very different, because we can actually change our dreams many times, and we should not be as well scared to change the dreams, because sometimes we think about, oh, okay, so now I'm 30, it's too late for me to do something different, or I'm 40, it's too late for me, or even 50 or 60, and we think, oh my God, now I cannot do what I want to do, but that's not true. So it's important to keep your dreams alive, and as well to understand that so many things when you look back actually manifested already, and you were able to live your dreams. Yeah, and the same for
exactly.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So this reminds me the times when I finished my university studies. I studied business management and finances. I don't even know how I ended up to study this major, but
Oh,
I just did.
tell
Yeah.
me about it. I studied politics. I don't know how did
Oh
I
my
sign
God.
up for
I didn't know
politics.
this about you.
Yeah.
Politics,
Yes.
really? Okay. I studied finances and
Mm,
I don't like numbers. I don't even know why I went there. I think some of my friends told me, like, oh, come, this university is perfect. This, and I, as I said, I was confused what to do, what to
mm,
study. I was playing around with psychology that time, but then I realized maybe more perspective will be economics or something like that. I was thinking like,
Mm.
not maybe I wasn't in my feminine flow that time. I was thinking very practically. That's
Yeah.
what men do. They
But very
do
often it's our parents as well that they say that they set the path for us in many
exactly.
cultures as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
It wasn't my parents didn't tell me what to do and where to study, but I was just influenced by friends and I choose economics because it seems like it was very
it's something
perspective.
that makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like it's one
something
of
that
the
makes
careers
sense.
that makes
But
sense.
the
Yeah.
thing is that there was never ever on my list. I wasn't money driven anytime in my career. What I wanted to do is to have passion for my work first, to have fun at work, to help someone, and then the money was somewhere else. I achieved so many of my things now, but because money were not on my list, I think I'm not still multimillionaire, right? So I have to start dreaming different way, I think, right now. No, but yeah, it really depends on your dreams, how you actually think about them and how detailed they are. So if you dreaming about something, it needs to have details. So my didn't have this multi-million dollar account details, so it's not there, of course. So now we should start to dreaming like this. Yeah. But what I wanted to say with the finance, back to my finance studies. So, oh my God,
Okay.
why is this happening to me? So after my studies, I was a little bit in modeling industry, but really, really small bit of it. Yeah, I just
Mhm.
even touched it. And when I was talking to my agency, they were like, "Okay, you should go there. You should do this. You should do this shoot." And I was like, "You know what I want to do right now is to work as a normal, regular person, to go to the corporate world and have this job." So I said this, universe provided, and I ended up in a corporate position where I actually hated it. I hated it because it
Mm.
was about the numbers. And I remember the moment when I was sitting in front of the computer, I was on a controlling position where, of course, I like to control things. But at the time, I was on a financial control position and I had to do all of these numbers and all of these Excel sheets and stuff. It was so boring. And I
Mhm.
somewhere inside of me, I was that creative person who needs to create something, to have passion, to have fun and everything. And this was total opposite. And I was sitting there looking at that Excel sheet and I told myself, if I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, I'm going to die. And that was the breaking point why I started to search for
Mhm.
some other dreams. And at that time, I had no idea what I'm going to do still. And I was what? I was 24 years old.
But I think that's okay. I think we should
Yeah.
normalize a little bit in life that you're at the point that you don't know what you want to do, and that's absolutely okay. And then at any time in your life, you can figure it out again. As I said, if you are in a career for 30 years of your life and you suddenly feel it's not doing anything for me anymore,
Mm,
this is not my passion. Maybe it used to be my
mm,
passion, but it's not now. You should be like fine with not having this certainty and
yeah,
be able to actually go and try something new, try something different, right?
exactly.
So the dream can change like so many times during the life, and I think especially when you are very young, the dream changes so often, and you have to try different things. So for me, I'm a multi-passionate person, so I keep
I know
jumping.
about that.
So I keep jumping from one thing to another, but it's fine because I tried so many different career paths, and I think what's really important to have the courage and the self-love
Yeah.
when to know when it's time to do something else, because so many people they get stuck in something
Mm,
just because they already invested so much time in it, they already invested so much money, so they keep going in the same path. But actually
mm.
it's very important to have this courage and to do something even when you're scared and have this like internal push. Okay, I'm really scared, I really don't know what I'm gonna do,
Exactly.
but I'm gonna do it anyway. so
Wherever your
so this
heart
is
goes, right?
this is the story of my life actually.
About this multi-passionate, I
Mm,
know exactly what you're talking about. I am similar than you in this, and I
mm,
remember when we were start talking about the podcast
mm,
and about our business that we're gonna connect together because
mm,
you been stylist as well. We are in coaching, and also we are an NLP coaches as well, NLP practitioners, and what we want to bring to the women. I already said at the beginning that we want them to get unstuck from any situation they are at
mm.
with different techniques, different tools, set them on the right track in their life, in wherever position or whatever part of their life they are right now, in a career or in a private life. And we want to create this amazing program for them. And we're working on it right now as we
Yeah,
speak,
it is. Yeah,
actually.
and it's actually very important to have the right support, right? Like when you want to achieve something, it's very important to. I myself was coached like many times. I had many coaches. I went to many programs, and this is very important as well
Yeah, of
to
course.
find the right support for you. Yeah.
You also, when you want to create something,
Mhm.
you shouldn't be ashamed to ask for a help, either a coach, business coach, or a friend, or whoever,
Mhm.
community, whatever. So that's all what we're working on now. We will talk about this later on in other podcasts. So if even one person will benefit and will get motivated by us and this podcast, today we will be totally happy, I think,
Exactly.
because that's
Yeah.
where it should go.
Yeah, this is how it started. Actually, this is what we said. We want to motivate women. We want them to live their dreams, and we want to start something that is our passion. Like you told me, like your passion is to motivate women and to empower women. And for me, it's exactly the same. So this is our
Because
passion project. Yeah.
it's amazing when you have
Mhm.
a milestone and you reach the point and you get to that point, you get that goal done. And at that point, I think we should celebrate it, even if it's a small thing.
100%.
This one, what we're doing right now, this is a huge celebration for me.
Yeah.
And I think for you as well, because this was a dream come true maybe half a year ago. And now it's happening. And this is actually first time. I don't know if I told you, this is the first time in my life that I'm going with a total flow. Before, also in my business, I started to do something, and suddenly all those negative thoughts that what if this happens came to my mind. Like always, it was always like that. And then at that point, it's like an obstacle and you need to look at and then remove it and then go further. But with you, when we starting to doing it, and you also maybe sometimes said, Lucia, what if this and what if this happens? And what I told you on that, what did I tell
Mm.
you that time through the WhatsApp?
Yeah, it's fine. It's we just keep going. And this is very important because sometimes we have these big dreams, right? And we are thinking, oh my God, how are we going to achieve this? It's really big. But sometimes you don't really need to see the all way through it. You don't need to see the wolf,
The result, you
the
don't need to
staircase. You
see.
don't need
Yeah,
to, yeah, you just need to have the courage and take the first step.
exactly.
And
And the
then a
second,
second step, and then slowly you
mm,
get there, and maybe you take one step back or two steps back, but it's fine, and then you're back on track. And this is very important, like to just
exactly.
take the first step and to start.
And then there always will be obstacles on the way, but why should we create it even before it happens? So
Yeah.
I stopped doing this. Even if some negative thoughts about whatever comes to my mind, I'll immediately erase it. And I also told it to yourself, like, and we're not there, just don't think about it this way.
Mm.
When it comes to the point that there will be some obstacle, we're gonna solve it together
Yes.
because I think we can solve everything together. There's communication is important. Of course, every person I think on this planet has two sides, the side that is showing to the world and the other side. And we don't know each other that well. But in this cooperation, I think we're both using intuition. So I told
Intuition
you
is very important. That's the women's
exactly.
superpowers, one of the powers that we have. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm also not always smiley and also not always nice and I can be angry and I can get angry about the things, but I'm trying to calm myself down at that point because what's happening outside of the world, it's not in our hands, right? So I am on this self-development journey and growing, and you are the great example of a person who was on this journey as well because I was impressed with the number of trainings and also the programs you went through. And that's why I love to talking to you about all of these things because I feel like we understand each other on this level. So even if
Yeah.
in the cooperation,
Mhm.
I think that well, as you said, that we don't have to be solitaires. We can find the partners in a business, which also the women. I think that this is your favorite theme. So you can say
Yeah.
how you see the cooperation between women and how these energies works.
So I believe this is so important for women. And traditionally, we were like, but what if everyone can win? Like when we unite. And I believe that for women, it's very natural to collaborate and to be together and to create together. And actually, as women, we need those connections. We need to be able to sit together, for example, in a circle, right? Anyway, it can be like in a coffee shop to
Yeah.
talk together. So women are not thriving in isolation. And I believe in business as
Mm.
well. And we already see it happening a lot, like everywhere. Even here in Dubai, there are so many amazing women's only groups, like for business, for different activities. And
That's what I love about
exactly.
Dubai, actually, that you have
Yeah,
these
so
opportunities here
yes,
to go out.
exactly. Yeah. So we see it happening already. And I feel that the collaboration between women is very important, and not to see each other as competitors, but to think, okay, how can we help each other? How can we elevate each other? Because
How
when
can
you
we grow
how can
together,
we grow
actually?
together? Exactly. Because if a woman wins, it's also all the women win, right? Because it's a new milestone for women. Because exactly as you said, so in many parts of the world, like there's so many disequalities between women. So we need to learn to stand with each other and to celebrate each other. And even when you have a competitor, let's say in the same field, and you see they're doing something amazing, so not be like, oh my God, and talk about like bad about her or envy. Sometimes, yes, like it can be admiration, right? Like we can admire her and everything, but see to celebrate her actually, instead of seeing it like, oh, okay, because she achieved that, that means just she's taking something away from me. So
Exactly.
this is
This is
exactly
the
what the
ideal. This
collaboration
this
is
is the
about.
ideal world we're talking about, and it's
Mhm.
not happening that way all the time. There
Of
is,
course not. Of course not.
yeah, there.
It's a journey. Yeah, it's a journey that we are on together. I think as women, like together, when it with upside downs and
But we have to
mm,
confirm actually that cooperation between women, if there is a right energy and if there is a right person, could be really
of course.
fun. And that's what actually we experienced since we started to work together. And I wasn't actually used to woman as a in a business, like as a my
Mm,
partner. I had a business partner. It was a man, and he was in a completely different major and in a technical side of our
mm,
platform and stuff. But I never cooperated with someone who is in the same thing like me, like coaching and styling and stuff. But now I'm really enjoying it because you can actually double the brainstorming with the person who
mhm.
understands the subjects you're talking about, and so many amazing things can happen. So I would just say don't be afraid to do it with
Yes.
anyone. And if
Mhm.
you pick the wrong person to cooperate, that's fine. It's like when you take the wrong turn on the road, and what you gonna do? You're gonna stay there forever and wait for someone to save you, or you're gonna looking for the new ways how to get home. So this is the same
Exactly.
thing. And it's all the same with our failures. And how do you we were talking about the failures and about the mistakes, and you told me one in interesting things that you were afraid of failures the same way as you were afraid of a success.
Yes, that's a
So,
big thing. Yeah,
and that's a
because
big thing.
yeah, because when it comes to success, like many people are afraid to fail, right? What if I fail? What if and this is a big block actually that many people have on their way to
And
succeed
I
in
had it
something.
as
Yeah.
well many times
But
in my
there's
life.
also, but there can be also the fear of success, because if you succeed in something, very often it can be that your life will change, and then as well, it's what the people will think about me if I start doing that. So, for example, if you are like working in a corporate and suddenly you decide you want to be a
Mm.
yoga teacher, and you can be a very successful yoga teacher, right? But you're thinking, oh my God, what all my friends are going to think about me? What about my colleagues? What they are going to think about me? So this is one of the blocks as well, that we can have the fear of success, or how your life will change if you actually succeed. So yeah, but as we said, like there are so many ups and downs on our way to actually to our dreams. And when we have the right tools, like for
Many ups and
example,
downs.
many ups and downs, of course, sometimes it's
Oh
more
my
ups
God.
than more downs than
More
ups.
downs
Yeah,
than
and
ups.
it
Yeah.
can be like that. Yeah. So this is the power of the mindset, right? As I said, like we don't want to go into like this toxic positivity that everything is butterflies and hearts and
Mm.
everything is perfect, because that's not true. Sometimes you just need to have a good cry. Yeah. That
That
helps.
that that reminds me that reel that say that strong women in they how is this real? Strong women need a good cry, day in bed, and they come back stronger, or something like
Yeah,
that. And
exactly. And
that's
it's like that because it's a learning point. Every experience in your life is a learning point. So it depends. This is the power of the mindset as well, how you see your life
yeah,
and how you see things. So if you see problems as problems, there will always be problems. But if you see the
exactly.
problems as opportunities to try something new and to grow and to learn from it, then it
But
becomes
it's
an
yeah,
advantage. Yeah.
but it's hard at the
It is hard.
point
Of course,
when
it's hard. It's
you
easy to say and hard to do, right?
exactly. So at the point when you are down there, when you are in this black hole and
Mm,
everything else around you is black, and now those, for example, those social medias, when you go to social media,
So much
so
comparison.
much comparison, people are showing the best of their best in their life. And if someone is down and they don't see this light at the end of the tunnel, how they gonna get out? What is your advice to for them to do? You scrolling down the social medias, you see this perfect life of everybody else. What is the first thing you would do in this case if it was you
So yeah,
who was?
so the first thing is to realize that very often people on social media, they put like the highlight reel of their life, and you don't really see what's happening in their life.
Exactly.
And but there's another way that I like to think about. Instead of looking at it, for example, oh, their life is so successful and
Mm.
they have all those things that I want to have. So I can see it both ways, right? I can look at it and I can see I can compare myself to see that I'm not there yet, or it can actually motivate me to see, oh, okay, if it's possible for them, why it shouldn't be possible for me?
Exactly,
If she
that's the
can do
tool.
it, I can do it as well. To see it as an opportunity, to see it as a possibility, to see that, okay, someone already went this way and they can show me that this is possible. So I can do it as well. So you have, and again, we are back to the power of the mindset, right? Like when you reframe the thoughts, it can actually help you. So the first of all, that this word on the social media is not real. And so many people, they show, we know that there are like fake, actually the fake jet planes that you can take picture in and you can pretend that you fly private jet.
Exactly.
So we know the
Oh, wow.
filters.
I saw
So
this
now,
actually. People
yeah,
are doing it, and it's
yeah,
so
exactly.
strange
So you
why
can fake
someone
so
is
many
doing it.
things online. Yeah, you can fake like your a billionaire lifestyle if you want to. The point is like you should hold yourself and understand, oh, okay, this might not be real. And if it's real,
Mm.
what I can learn from that, like maybe it can motivate me to that it's possible and it's achievable as well. So,
Yeah, it's amazing marketing tool actually to fake something, to pretend these people who pretend they are in a private jet and they are not, they just renting the place. But it was great that you said that you should see also other side of the story. It's always you need to see a full picture and other
exactly.
side of the story because it's also like between two people, if they have an argument and one of them comes to you, a friend comes to you that I had this huge argument with my husband or with my friend, and you hear one side of the story, you should always think about other side of the
Of
story
course.
because there is always a twist and it could be totally different from somebody else's perspective as they looking at the thing from their filters and they have different conditioning and they see totally different things. So
Mhm.
what I would suggest as well to the people who see these on social medias and everything is amazing on the socials, but for you is not, just switch off the social medias.
Yeah, take a break. Yeah,
Switch
that's
it
very
off,
important.
take a break, just don't go there, don't look at the people what they doing and start working on yourself, on your inner self, on your dreams and on your passion. There is, I think that every single person on this planet have some passion inside of them. They were born to come here to do something with their life. So I think it's not easy maybe sometimes, but it's not impossible to find one thing you can do with your life and then you can follow it. Yeah, so we also planning to do this for women, as I said, to help them, to motivate them, to unstuck them from situation. And also, as you said, it might be the fear there, but there are also tools how you can get rid of all of your fears in your life. Then now and anything will be possible for you, so you can get rid of all of these negative emotions, all of these limiting beliefs, all of this. So this is what holds us back, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes like limiting decisions. What is it? I heard this term like maybe 2 years back during my coaching program, and I was like, no, I don't have any limiting decisions, I don't have any issues with my negative emotions or something. But I did actually, and I was working on it. And now I actually can recognize red flags in other people when I see myself few years back, how I was reacting to things and how I was having my own fears, my limiting decision. And they are still there, some of them, but it's the huge bunch is not there. I don't know if you have experienced some limiting decisions you made yourself and it holds you back. So is there something that holds you
Yes, of
back?
course. Yeah.
And you just somehow overcome it, and if you did, how did you overcome those
Yeah,
things?
but as we said, as you made a beautiful example how important it is to keep an open mind, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't realize something until you know about it. So that's why it's very interesting to be on this path of personal development because you learn so much about yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, so we had so many. I had so many examples in my life when, for example, I was scared of driving. I decided I'm not a good driver. It was
Mm.
like a decision because I don't know, I don't even know where it came from, but now I enjoy driving and I love driving.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's yeah. So this is how you can shift.
How did
And
you overcome it? How did you overcome this fear? Do you remember how did
I just
you?
started doing it because the worst thing you can do when you're scared of something is to avoid it. So you
Mm.
can, so the best thing is to start in small doses. So if you are scared of something, and I learned something regarding this for people pleasing, for example, as well, because
Oh.
people pleasing is such a big subject, especially for women. And it's sometimes just to be scared to say what's, to be assertive and to
What
say
you want,
exactly, to say
actually.
what you
Mm.
want. So it's good to start small, and you just, it can be like a small thing. So for example, for the driving, you just take your car and you go around the block, right? It can be just that. You don't have to take your car and go straight to from on the Sheikh Zayed
On the
Road from
Sheikh
Dubai
Zayed
to
Road.
Abu Dhabi, right? For the first time you drive. But it's just like you take the small steps and you keep taking them on a regular basis. So even if you don't feel like, you force yourself every day to do little, and then it becomes your normal, right? And then you don't even think about it.
This
Yeah,
is how it happened to you?
exactly.
And
Yeah,
how
yeah.
you say.
So,
So I
and of
think,
course, there are so many techniques, right? Sorry,
yeah.
there's just so many beautiful techniques as well from the NLP that we can use. I don't know, like we have so many. If we start talking about it, I'm sure we will not finish this
Yeah,
podcast at
that's the
all.
podcast. That's the
Yeah, and
episode
that and this is what
itself.
this is what I used as well, and it helped me a lot, of course. But I believe that the action and taking the small steps, it's also very important.
Yeah, it's the same when you want to start exercise for, and you just see those people who are going to the gym and they exercise and they transform into one person to another. And you just looking at them and you just don't start and you procrastinating and you never, if you never start, you never get there. You
Exactly.
never get to the point when you gonna feel healthy. You never get. It's happening actually to me as well. I was in so many ups and downs regarding exercises because I have in 10 years I had 2 kids and I have 2 C-sections when I couldn't immediately after exercise. And before that, I did do yoga, I did go to the gym. But after that, it gets harder and harder. This exhaustion was there when I didn't sleep well at night, when I had to do that and that. And I was pushing myself and I was beating myself up that I'm not doing it at that point. And I think even if I should go back right now, I would tell myself, this is fine. You just take a rest. You don't have to push yourself that hard to do it because there will be the right time when you will feel better. So I started after my first son, then the second son, and until now, sometimes I'm very busy to do that. And I have to push myself. But once you start in a small, so like few years back, I would start and go really hard with the cardio and go to the gym and do this person. But right now, I just find the ways that I can enjoy. So I go surfing with my friends. I go to play tennis to be more active, or I do some exercises at home just with myself for myself. I do yoga, but I stop pushing too much. And maybe for some people right now, they will feel or they will think that it should be a different way, that you should go and you should push yourself every single day. But I think as a women, we do go through so much in our life from the point of physical body changes when we are mothers, from the, even if we are not, there's so many changes in our body through from that comes from the nature, these hormonal changes, this 28 day cycle where you feel with more or less power. And I don't think you should push throughout the month the same way as actually men do because they don't have this. So, yeah, what I learned from this actually is that I'm not that hard on myself, but somehow it's working for me. So, maybe women, if they start to do this and they should acknowledge that they are women actually. That's, but for different people is a different thing. Maybe some women love to be pushed or to push themselves. I don't know. What do you think
So
about this?
So this is a big subject for me actually because
Yeah.
I'm a certified self-love and body confidence
Oh,
coach.
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And this is
That's
that's something I'm very passionate about,
mm,
and the power of loving yourself. So when you say to push yourself, like you need to know what is behind it. Like for example, you push yourself to the gym, but what is the motivation behind it? Is it because you want to just look certain way because the society tells you to look certain way,
mm.
or is it because you actually love your body, you love yourself, you feel good when you exercise? And the exercise doesn't have to be just in the gym. It's, as you said, like you have so many different hobbies.
And different
So
ways how you can do it, how
exactly,
to
yeah.
stay active.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's, yeah, so this is really the power of self-love, to knowing, to listening to listen to your body and to give it what it needs. It's
And
very,
also
very important.
sometimes it's very nice to be lazy,
To take rest, yes.
just not to do anything. If sitting on the couch and listening to the music and don't think about something else is beneficial for you,
Exactly.
I think you should do it.
And
If it's going to the gym and push yourself, you should do it. But
exactly.
we all should find what is great for ourselves, not for what society thinks or our friends are doing or whoever else, because we are all different. We are similar in those hormonal cycles, of course, the women, but there is also a difference
Mm.
between us.
Yes, it's very important to listen to your body. And as well, something you just touched a very interesting topic, and that is that the women often think they have to deserve rest, right? Because we have this example like of our mothers that were working full time, taking care of
I
us, and
know.
just running. So whenever they would say, they would feel guilty. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I have the same, and or I
Same
used to
thing.
have the same, that I
Mm.
would just sit down and relax. I would feel, oh my god, I should be doing something useful right now. I'm like, and this is a big thing for women, I think, to learn when to rest, and
Yeah.
it's super super important to rest and recharge. And
It's a huge topic, this one,
exactly,
because
we can talk about it
I
for another
exactly
hour
feel this
easily.
because at the beginning of my marriage or of my relationship with my husband, he is super supportive of the things I'm doing and he has his own ways. But at the beginning, and even and when we have kids already, when I sit on the couch and didn't do anything, I felt guilty
Mhm.
even around him. And I don't know why, because he never say something or he never judged this or some,
It's
but
like something
it was just
internal.
inside of
Yes.
me that I felt
Mhm.
like I don't deserve this rest or I should be doing more for the family, for the kids. But I was
Mhm.
exhausted. I just sit down and sleep when I was really totally exhausted. And I think we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't
No.
think this way, because becoming a mom is one huge change in the life. And also, if you even if you don't have kids, you're doing so many activities during the day, you should take a rest and you shouldn't be
Exactly. Yeah.
feeling guilty. So I had the same thing, but right now with those two kids, when I feel it, I also, and I work from home when they, for example, have holidays or something. Sometimes during the day I just take a nap and I
And it's
go
right, and
and
it
I
should,
leave them
yes.
in the living room. They playing or they watching something, and I just go up
Exactly.
and I take a nap.
Yeah, it's as a mom, as moms, it's very important to really take the rest for yourself, right? Because we have
Yeah,
this mom guilt conscience. Like anytime you do something for yourself or even for your business, like you should be with your baby and everything. But
but
as well, the
yeah,
kid, they need a mom that is rested. They need a mom that has good energy, because the energy of the mom influences the kids as well. So, but this
exactly.
is a big topic for women, of course. Like we all have
We
this,
can talk
yeah,
about
this,
this on
yeah,
some on motherhood. We can
yes,
have like even five
yeah.
episodes, and we will not be finished, because I think, yeah, it's important to talk about that moms are not superwomen, that women are not superwomen. That we do have superpowers, but it has some limitations as
You
well. We
don't
are just
suddenly
human
become a
beings.
superwoman just because you're a mom, right? You still need your rest. You still need the time
You
for
still
yourself,
need.
and you still need to love yourself through the ups and downs of the motherhood. So that could
And
be for
these naps part in my life, it was always there. I remember myself when I went to the school. I came back from the school at about 2 o'clock or something, and I had to take a nap, and nothing else existed that time before I take the nap. We had homeworks and everything, but before I take, like, I had to take a nap that time. It didn't exist that I didn't. And I had kids when I was 30 years old, and that was a huge change because it was huge. I was sleep deprived person who couldn't.
tell me about it. I'm still I only slept 5 hours today.
And I admire you sitting
and I
here with
feel
me,
and I feel those
because
5 hours, that's a big achievement, right?
huge
Because
achievement when you
before,
have,
yeah,
yeah,
because before I would be like, oh my God, I only slept 5 hours. I'm gonna die today. Like I'm not gonna survive today. And now I'm wow, I slept 5 hours. I can do anything today.
but you are at a different stage right
Mhm.
now as I am, because you have how old
So
is
I have
your
a 9 months old at
9 month
home.
old?
Yes.
So I have 10 and 5 years old, and if I had when I had 9 month old any of my guys, and I would sleep 5 hours that time, it would be celebration,
Exactly.
right? But now, if I sleep 5 hours, I am so exhausted. So I really admire you for
Yeah.
being here and talking to me like that.
Okay, so this brings us to the end of our episode today. So we wanted to introduce ourselves a little bit, and actually this podcast is we want to talk about so many different subjects. Like we opened a few subjects today, but this is what we want to talk about. We want to be real. We want to share the ups and downs. We want to be motivational
Yeah.
and to help women, and hopefully we will have some amazing guests in the future as well. And yeah, so this is where the journey takes us.
Yeah, exactly. This is what our podcast is going to be. It's all about the women's world and how we look at the different, how we look at from a different perspective. And I'm
Exactly.
sure that men will benefit from cracking the code, as you said
Exactly. Yes, if they listen
at the
to it,
beginning.
definitely they will learn something.
So stay with us, and we are happy to welcome you with our
Yes,
next
and
episode.
yes, exactly. And if you want to learn more about our podcast, or you want to sign up for the waitlist for our amazing offers that will be coming up in near future, you can visit our website phemisticated.com and you can sign up for the waitlist there. And we are so much looking forward to seeing you on the other side.
And that's the wrap.
And that's a wrap.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
Nina.
day.
Have a
Thank you,
great day. Bye
Lucia.
bye.
Thank you.